Here we go though. Welcome to CDC, the Casual Duel Cup. We have a lurq versus evil. We are starting off on Error Walk, a best of 5 series. It should be pretty good between these two. Lurq starting off with the red. Evil's got the mega. Evil's a very fast player. The few times I've played against Evil in duels, Evil incredibly fast. Not sure if they'll slow down playing against someone. Lurq seem to be playing a little bit slower, whereas I play incredibly fast as well, so sometimes playing fast against a fast player, you'll keep playing fast. 5 seconds until the mega health. Lurq should be able to take this. Evil did say that he'll try and be on positive scores, not be on negative. Unfortunately, going down to his own rocket in the first fight. Lurq really good with these teleporters. Some people just understand teleporters better than others on this map. It's definitely a learned thing. I struggle with it a lot, every time, remembering where certain teleporters go. I know when I'm taking them, but I don't know when I'm watching other people. I'm kind of looking around thinking, where are they going to come out? Some good rocket damage from Lurq from the high ground, but Evil's got some good damage, and there's a direct rocket to finish him off. Bad spawn for Lurq. Zero to everybody. Evil manages to take a frag advantage. Spots Lurq, but doesn't have the health to go in. Oh, great shot there from Evil. Yeah, but you know instantly when you go through the teleporter which one teleports you to upper, and you need to do the trick to get on onto the bridge. Like, come out holding holding strafe and turning. Oh, nice shot from Lurq. I wish we could have seen that from their POV. Just shooting straight on, holding out for this yellow. And a nice telefrag. So many telefrags, I love it, on this map. My favourite is, I still do it no matter what game I'm playing. You can only really do it in, you can do it here a bit, but absolutely do it in Quake 3, and especially CPM, is going through from the rockets, just over here, up to bridge, taking this teleporter back and forth, nice upper rocket. Evil have no idea Lurq was coming in there. Much slower play, much more methodical than you often see with this game. A lot of people, myself included, I'm playing this because it is incredibly fast paced. Much more like Evil, flying around everywhere. Lurq just holding positions, gets a lot of frags out of this. A few bad spawns from Evil, and a couple of unlucky rushes. That grenade going off, incredible play from Lurq. If you can kill your opponent with grenades, that's when you know that you've got your prediction game going really well. Either your opponent's very predictable, or you're just doing really well on the predictions. Evil just can't seem to catch a break, gets a poor spawn. Might be able to get out of here, does get a good amount of damage with a couple of those rockets. One rocket going up, pinned to the wall with the LG. Almost, Lurq here almost being fed ammo from the backpacks coming down. Evil goes off, picks up a backpack, drops down. I feel like Evil's had the run of the red armors. Lurq just letting that go. Better position on the map, better control. Great LG from both players here. Ooh, unlucky there for Evil. Just doesn't get through the teleporter before the frag goes out. But does manage to make one back. A couple of rockets coming in quick succession. Oh, absolutely. I can't seem to get both aim and timing. Never been able to do it any game, no matter how long I've played for. Getting good aim and good timing in a game, that's the dream. And to be able to focus plus on position. Yeah, In QuakeWorld specifically, Mega plus Yellow is more bang for the buck. It's because you just get that immediate 150 stack of it, rather than other games where it doesn't give you as much. And especially things like Quake 3, where it's only as powerful as the red. Here the red is more powerful. And you get stack. lurq delaying here. Interesting tactic, because I don't think it'll matter. It's one of those situations where you feel Evil has lost control of the timing. Possibly never had it in the first place. So certainly not necessary. Nice rocket movement, flying through the map. Tries to find Evil with the rocket. Beautiful surf of that rocket. As soon as lurq started moving, realised that the boost was coming through. Managed to control it really well. Clever drop down there. Good shot from Evil. Evil playing really well to take a few shots up there. Unlucky low health. How on earth has lurq managed to escape that? The blast radius on the stairs can sometimes be a little bit confusing. It doesn't quite curve around the stairs in the way that sometimes you might expect it to. Travels a lot less on those stairs. The upper ground, always an advantage. Nice movement here from lurq. Evil sneaking around. Two stacks up to take this yellow. Spots lurq over in the distance. Couple of good shots in there. Pushing lurq back out of the position, but lurq's now fighting for this red. Big shot there, direct rocket, never going to help you. Evil knows the yellow's up, falls back to it, very well played. Decently stacked, should be able to take a decent fight here with lurq. But lurq gets in a couple of good rockets, a few grenades, and there it goes. Suicide from Evil, unfortunately. And then pinned with LG. Ooh, straight in the face with direct rocket round that corner. Great prediction from lurq. Heard the jump, shot the rocket. Knew where Evil was going to be. Making a fast move round. A lot of stack, might as well use it. You can use it in a fight, you can use it for positioning. It's a resource to be used, to be spent, to be traded for certain things. Sometimes it's better to have stack than it is to have positioning, and sometimes it's better to use that stack to get a rocket jump to get positioning. Oh, unlucky for Evil. You could see he was just pushing forwards, forwards, forwards. Make sure you take that. Even if you die, you want to take it. If you're in that position, you're going down anyway. Nice yellow there. lurq very well stacked up. Evil up on top, gets pinned to the corner. Not going to pick up the red, that's coming up in 3 seconds. Evil should be able to challenge somewhat for that. Unfortunately, just gets caught off guard by lurq. Didn't expect him to be there right at that moment. Was expecting a little bit more of a challenge, Evil having the better positioning, but yeah, just catching him off guard. Unlucky from lurq there as Evil drops down. Beautiful movement though, straight off, immediately knowing that he'd got the red, goes straight for that weapon. If you don't have the red, you probably want to back out of that situation, get out of there, hope that you don't get hit by a stray rocket on the way down. Otherwise, keep moving forwards. If you've got the red, get the LG and push in. It's always an interesting thing watching QuakeWorld, coming from other games mostly, and QuakeWorld with the items staying up, you know you can get a weapon if you go and push, whereas that would be absolutely denied to you in that position in any other game. They're just going to take it for the 1 LG ammo that it'd give. Ooh, beautiful rocket on the move. Evil, at least you went down to something gorgeous. Evil just trying to escape, trying to keep the losses lower. Always good to do. Shotgun's not going to do much against the stack that lurq's had. I think the stats on this match are going to show lurq with a massive amount of control, but a surprising amount of reds going to evil. 5 seconds left on the clock. We are, of course, done. 31-4, unless any stray rockets connect from either player. But there we go, 31-4. A reasonable scoreline. Evil definitely held their own there. So, fantastic. We'll see what happens on the next map. On to the second match. Have some stats from the last match, of course. We had 14 reds to lurq and 6 to evil, but only 4 mega healths and 12 went to lurq. Massive gap there. But here we are on Skull, I believe. I didn't entirely catch the name of the map. This is a map I've played a few times in DM, so I actually do recognise this one. Nice shot there from evil. Great predictive rocket. A lot of verticality to this map. It's always chaos in DM, just rockets flying everywhere, and of course shooting out of the map. lurq managing to get a great frag over. And now it's 0-0 again. We start again at the 30-second mark. Red for evil. lurq's going to have to try and stay safe until they can get some stack up. Most of the stack is in fairly risky places on this map. Weapons pretty safe, but you do have to go out your way for some of them. But it's the yellow, very easy for someone to come around that corner, catch you by surprise here, knock you straight off the edge. And the red's up on top in a very visible place. Evil managing to take an early lead. Good shots from lurq. Great rocket there to finish off evil. Now with the LG, keeping it strong. Gets the red. Holding out. Yeah, lurq, a very tactical kind of play style. It's interesting to see. It's something that's rare to see with these games, you know? Is someone playing slower, more tactically, walking round. Evil, you see, never stop jumping. But lurq just hiding out, knowing where he can go. Nice little bit of movement. Cool bit of tech that you can get up here. Evil should be able to make this frag. Had the high ground, can't quite connect any more rockets. Will lurq be able to stack up enough beforehand? That's such a scary jump. Definitely well versed in the small bits of health dotted around the map. Has gone for them a couple of times in little weird places that sometimes you don't know that they exist. Even if you play the map a lot, sometimes you don't know where all the health exists. If you play fast and loose and aggressive, always pushing, you really don't have much of a need for 25 healths and in strange places that take 10 seconds to get to. Big rocket there from lurq. Knocks the red straight off of evil's back, but he picks it up immediately after. Gets the frag. Pulls it back to tied game at 3 minutes in. It's the high ground now for lurq. Trying to hold the stack advantage, I guess, would be sort of the first port of call in this match. If you can manage to hold the stack advantage for a whole cycle, get a couple of megas under your belt, because at the minute the megas and the reds are going back and forth very quickly. But if either player can survive it out and not go down while being low, and if that's anyone, that's probably going to be lurq here, then they're going to do fairly well. Much slower game than Error Walk. Error Walk, one of the fastest playing maps. You see, I mean, Error Walk can have more deaths a minute than Amphi or PovDMM. Incredibly fast-paced map. Lurq just waiting. Doesn't need to do anything. Where's Evil? Evil on the hunt. Spotted by lurq. Gets a couple of good shots out. Gets through the teleporter. Getting to safety just quick enough. Grabs that red. Bit of damage onto lurq. Few good shots, but a direct from lurq. That does a lot of damage to Evil. Evil won't know quite how much damage he's managed to do onto lurq. Lurq just fell off the edge of the map. Okay. Whoops. That was a mistake. 5-4 the scoreline. lurq just ahead of them. Ooh, nice shot from Evil. Great predictive rocket right onto the Mega. Put it right where you know your opponent has to go to. Unfortunately goes down in that exchange. Yeah, absolutely post a link to the tourney. Ooh, good fight in here. Nice from lurq. Evil just couldn't quite connect the high ground there. Sometimes you can blast your opponent up into the air and then be out of luck, especially if all you've got is a rocket launcher. I'm not sure if Evil actually had the LG in that last exchange. Popped lurq way up into the air, and then, yeah, sometimes you just can't really do much. Good stack. Oh, he's just ripped straight away from Evil with two great rockets. One direct, not far off. And then in the perfect position to get pinned with the LG. Good grenades there. None really connecting, but well positioned. 200-200 stack comes out from lurq. Now to convert this into a decisive advantage. This is the position where you've got complete control of the map. Evil hasn't had any of the megas for a little while. Hasn't had any reds, really. A couple of snatched reds when he's spotted it's come up after a respawn. But now's the point where lurq's going to increase the speed, push in. Here we go. Gets shot by a big, powerful rocket. That's always where this can change. All weapons in QuakeWorld doing a lot of damage. It can swing a map very quickly. If you get hit by a rocket, 2 health after rocket jumping out of the situation. Can lurq manage to get round to one of his favourite hiding places of a couple of health, back to 2 health, and Evil manages to make the frag. Looking to convert this, try and get some spawn frags off. Lurq still hasn't managed to pick up any stack. 200-200 now for Evil. Doesn't want to let lurq get any stack right now. That's the thing that Evil's trying to do. If lurq gets stack, then Evil knows lurq will all of a sudden be able to fight back and also won't die so easily. It's much harder to pick up kills on enemies that have armor. Evil with some good timing, I think, now on that red. lurq certainly doesn't really know the timing. Might have picked it off the back of there, but sometimes it's difficult to get the timing while you're in the middle of a fight, trying to hold position and all of that. Whereas if you already have the timing, even if it's slightly early now, you're able to just scoop it back up after. These reds coming around so fast, it feels like. Everything just going off between the fights. Megas are up. Evil super stacked. Has been for a while, but lurq's been able to keep it pretty close. Not letting the frags start to gain. Gets a red out of this exchange. I'd say Evil currently in the better position though, compared to lurq. Obviously the scoreboard says different, but a minute and a half, 3 frags the difference. Very much chaseable this. But if lurq can manage to get ahead, grabs that yellow in a second, takes it. And now I think lurq definitely should be able to capitalise on this frag. Both went into that with fairly even stack and all the items not dying in a little while. Both players down to super low amounts of health. That armor won't help you, but nice boost straight into the mega. Falls off the edge of the map, manages to save it. Evil pushing around, doesn't want to take the fight on in a level playing ground. Knows lurq is better stacked. Unfortunately gets caught off in the guard. Bounced around with the rocket launcher. Great grenade use here from Evil. None of them seem to be connecting, annoyingly. But the style of play, just running away and spamming that grenade launcher behind you, hoping that it hits your opponent. It is a fantastic way to play. It is very clever. It is unfortunate when they just don't seem to hit. But you don't know that. You don't know that they're not hitting. Have some belief that they will be hitting. 10 seconds left on the clock. There's no way for Evil to come back into this, but might get a knock off the edge. Doesn't quite connect with it enough. 10 health and 1 second. Very well played, these two. Evil absolutely more in this game than the last one. But lurq manages to take it 14 frags to 8 in the end. And we'll be moving on to our next map. The third map, we are on Shifter. lurq has a chance to take this. Winning this map will win the series. And, yeah. Can Evil manage to take it and send us to map number 4? This is one of the bigger maps in QuakeWorld play. This and Monsoon, the bigger ones that I've seen played. lurq playing very slowly around the start. Doesn't have much stack. I think Evil's got both the major items, but absolutely gets zapped by that LG. Nice rocket out to the red. Evil trying to work the teleporters a little bit by the looks of things. Nice movement over to this mega. Full stack now for lurq. Evil on the red, waiting for it to come up. There's still 5 seconds left. Looks like lurq knows these maps really well. Every time you see, just has positioning, the prediction, the game sense of where Evil's going to be. It's really good. Nice rocket. Good grenade from Evil, though. We said on the last game that Evil was dropping some good grenades. Shame they weren't connecting. That one connects beautifully. Ooh, nice LG. Just straight on. Hook it up. LG and rail, they're done the same. Just one of them you keep holding click. Some nice map control here from lurq. Just really holding off the places where Evil wants to be. Evil has the complete run of the map, except for 2 places. But unfortunately, those 2 places are the red and the mega zone. Alright, cheers, Halides. Five frags in 2.5 minutes. Pretty slow going for QuakeWorld. Though we saw slower on the last map, and this is a much bigger map. But the complete control that lurq has had. Oh no, Evil walks in. Surprised that lurq didn't just full blast one shot there, to be honest. That was a bit of a wait, he's not looking at me. Oh, he is looking at me moment for lurq there. Ooh, unlucky Evil jumping straight over. Like I said, there's only 2 places on the map you can't go, Evil, and unfortunately for you, they are the 2 places that you really need to be going to be able to make any difference in this map. Gets a good frag though. This could open things up if Evil can manage to pick up this red armor right now before lurq is able to. And lurq gets a beautiful rocket onto Evil, but Evil picks up the red off of the respawn. Lucky respawn from Evil. Goes down to a very nicely placed rocket from lurq though. And now we're back to square one again. Evil needs to stack up just a little bit. It's going to be difficult because, again, lurq's taking all the major items, has them on lockdown, has them on clockwork. And every time Evil runs in, just feeding lurq that ammo. You don't need to go hunting for ammo in a duel like this, because the backpacks your opponent feeds you will have one of the weapons and a little bit of ammo. And unfortunately for Evil, lurq is playing this map to perfection on absolute clockwork with the items, but not standing there. Like, this is technically a beginner's tournament, and that is true in Quake terms, but the way these two are both playing this is a high level of play. But unfortunately, this game is also 30 years old, so that's considered beginner. Nice play from Evil there, not standing on the item. That's definitely something that a lot of newer players do when they first learn about item timings and stuff. They're there before, like by a couple of seconds, to make sure they're in place, really trying to take the item, and then they just get bombed by the other player who turns up a second late. And it doesn't matter if you get the item if you take 2 direct rockets. But Evil's definitely playing around that, knows it, seems to be getting in some decent damage. Getting unlucky with some of the placements, and especially some of these respawns. Mega health up. Evil skipping the red. Running away from here. lurq just leaving that mega. Did Evil manage to grab the mega? Doesn't manage to grab the mega. Mega still up as far as I'm aware. Is there a way to make the item timings, if anyone knows, make the item timings stay? Evil's got the mega then. Overstacked. Mega and yellow. Or mega and green. It's a decent stack to go into this red fight with, but just flicked up into the air. Evil only had the rocket launcher there. Couldn't do anything about an airborne lurq. Lurq actually aware of that as well. Up in the air and staying away from the walls, so the splash damage couldn't get him. 1 health survival from Evil. Has a couple of frags on the board now, which is nice. But still low, and didn't have enough frags to really try and claw back any control. lurq still playing very well in control of this map. Red fight proper now. Both players have timing on it. Great rocket there from lurq. Picks up the item. Evil getting the upper. Spawn goes the wrong way when lurq goes through the teleporter. Unlucky spawn right behind lurq. A direct rocket. Puts us to 21-2 the scoreline. Stuck on the edge there as well. Evil still playing properly. There's a lot of players that when they hit this scoreline will just start rushing and shotgun shooting and doing whatever. But Evil's still trying, you know, and it does help to try like that. If you're just completely tilted, drop. At this stage in a match, you know, just run round and shoot rockets and treat it like DM and don't care about it, don't worry. But if you have the mental to do it, then it's really, really good practice to keep properly playing, because you are going to learn a lot about playing out of control, and it is very easy to play in control. It's really hard to play out of control, which is what makes the better players better, is that they play better out of control. Because this isn't snooker. In snooker, you're going to come up against the balls, and if your opponent's in and they're playing well, there is nothing you can do about it. But this is Quake. There are things that you can do about your opponent playing really well, and that is to play better than them. To outbrain them. Sometimes you are just getting outplayed, but Evil has managed to get a few frags in, a few good positions, and get very close. Like, sometimes you'll look back at a game and realise how close you came to a frag. It's one more tick of LG. It's one slight, you know, you run away, but it's one extra tap of rocket, or just a random shot that hits. So Evil's certainly keeping lurq honest, and there it proves. Evil will now know that he's probably been keeping lurq honest for a little while because the frag came off so easily in that fight. It means that the last fight was very close. Did have to give away 4 frags for it, but you know, you're out of control, getting out aimed. That's kind of how it's going to go. Nice positional play from lurq, holding that lower angle. High ground's usually better, but with the LG knockback so strong, jumping off the top, not always the best option. Nice rocket there from lurq. Evil did try and avoid it, didn't keep pushing when the rocket came in, I think. Either that or just got stuck on the edge. Sometimes you get lucky like that. 30 seconds remaining, or under 30 seconds remaining. We still see Evil pulling out, trying to go for this red. See, so Evil probably knows the red's there, and trying to play for it rather than rushing in. Dodging out, good play from Evil, jumps over the edge and drops rockets back, leaves nice rocket on the teleporter. Very well played from both players there. And there we go. The series is over, 3-0 to lurq. The scoreline a lot further apart than one map at least would suggest, but lurq for sure doing fantastically. Holding the advantage, playing well when Evil was in control, and a really good game from both players. Hopefully they'll both keep playing, keep improving, and we will see them more times. We'll see more games, and I'll play more games, and I'll commentate more games. Thank you very much for watching. If you're watching the video, if you're watching the live stream, we'll continue. Thank you very much.